On this date, in January 2022, I will tell you clearly, and I will show you the proof that John Tory has been an extreme failure to the people of the city of Toronto. Now we know that a homeless life is also a human life. And you should never, ever, 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 ever forget that a life is too precious to leave to die on the streets of Toronto. But so many have died under the false, terrible, disgusting leadership of John Phony Baloney, media-made manipulation, throw stones at the poor and those less fortunate from his glass condo Tory. And then the disgusting, lazy, copy and paste media of the city of Toronto will tell you stories about John Tory feels that his rights were violated because you protest about him using your law enforcement services and $2 million of the people of the city of Toronto's taxpayers' money to beat up a bunch of people who does not have 1, 2, 3, 4 walls around them. I am here, and I will not play the games with the Toronto media that they have played for the past 30 years. They say, we think you shouldn't be there, so we're not going to tell the people about you. We're going to ignore you, Kevin Clarke. And for 30 years, the Toronto media has ignored the needs of the people of the city of Toronto. But it really started in 2010. That was when a Toronto Star reporter named Edward Keenan, he made a mistake that the media didn't know how to handle. Keenan gave his honest truth about who the top 5 people in the city of Toronto to be Toronto mayor were. Number 1 was the current mayor, David Miller. Number 2 was former health minister, the one who was responsible for a $1 million boondoggie, George Smitherman. Number 3, former TTC chair, Karen Stint. Number 4, your current failure, phony, baloney, businessman, bagman for the corporation, bagman for those who want to push pharmaceutical drugs on the people of the city of Toronto, John Phony Baloney, terrible, 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 terrible. You can't say enough terrible, sad excuse for a mayor. When I first met John Tory in Etobicoke, he was the moderator of a debate I was involved in. And I told him, John Tory, you are not fit and qualified to be mayor. And I will hire you as a business consultant for the people of the city of Toronto. The media was present. And at that debate, an American media says Kevin Clarke, who showed up only and spoke for 15 minutes of a 2-hour debate, was the star of the debate. The Toronto media ignored that. The 5th choice for Toronto mayor by Edward Keenan, and you can watch the video on YouTube, the man who will be mayor, Kevin Clarke, and that was Kevin Clarke. But then the media had a meeting, and the question was, can we control Kevin Clarke? Kevin Clarke wants to combat poverty. Kevin Clarke wants to house the homeless. Kevin Clarke wants to create affordable housing. Kevin Clarke wants to feed the hungry. Kevin Clarke wants to create proper services for the seniors. Kevin Clarke wants to give opportunities to the youth. Kevin Clarke wants to combat crime, violence, and abuse of authority in the city of Toronto, and we as a media, we don't need a mayor that would combat all those, because then we wouldn't have our big juicy news stories to scare the people. What have you received from my opponent, John Phoney Baloney Tory, in the past 7 years of his leadership of this city? You received exactly what the Conservative Party of Ontario received, which was why they boot John Tory out of the Conservative Party as a leader. And then came in Patrick Brown, another leader, and now you've got Doug Ford. I was to face Doug Ford and John Tory in 2018. I will tell you that story in a bit, but I will tell you about when I met the Premier, the current Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford. You'll say, Kevin Clarke, wow, it was great you met Doug Ford. It wasn't great for me. It was great for Doug Ford, because Doug Ford was carrying a secret. And so Doug Ford ran me down at a church in Etobicoke, and I was poked in the eyes as a child by a needle that left me half blind. So when I hear my name scream, Kevin, 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 I couldn't see who it was until he got close, and then I saw it was the brother of the man who I was the biggest adversary of, the brother of Rob Ford. Why was I a big adversary of Rob Ford? Because of what Doug Ford said to me that day. Mr. Clarke, I had to meet you. I had to tell you how much my brother Rob respected you. And this was after Rob's death. And Rob respected Kevin Clarke. Why did Rob respect a former homeless man? Rob respected this man because Rob Ford in 2010 came into the race for Toronto mayor, with the top 5 candidates being labeled as David Miller, George Smitherman, Karen Steen, John Tory, and right behind John Tory was Kevin Clarke. Miller did not run. It left with Smitherman, and I believe Stint did not run, and it left with Smitherman, Tory, and Clarke as the top 3. And because the media felt they could not control Clarke, they had to find a replacement. And most importantly, how can we promote Kevin Clarke? Kevin Clarke was a homeless man. A homeless man who showed you that through love, no one was less. And now he's polled to be the 5th choice for mayor, and with 2 candidates bowing out, a homeless man was ready to lead the largest city in Canada. So the media had to find a replacement. And that replacement the media had to find was somebody who think and who could address issues similar to the issues that made Kevin Clarke so loved by the people of the city of Toronto. He must address social issues. And that's how Rob Ford came to be. So people of Toronto, what you do not know, you will know now. And to confirm that this is the true facts of the 2010 election for Toronto mayor, all you have to do is ask to see Rob Ford's phone record. And you will find out that the day after Rob Ford was elected to the largest office to the mayor, to the highest office of the largest city in Canada, he didn't call the prime minister, he didn't call the premier, he didn't call all the news media, he didn't call the hundreds of richest people in Canada or influential people. Rob Ford called one man, and that man was Kevin Clarke. Why would Rob Ford call a former homeless man less than 12 hours after being elected to the highest office for the largest city in Canada? Because Rob Ford knew that the only reason he became mayor was because the media ignored and blackballed the 5th choice to be Toronto mayor in 2010, Mr. Kevin Mark Clarke. I'm not back. I am here because I've always been here. But they did not want to believe that God can empower someone with the goodness that God has empowered me with. So I know the service needs that are needed by the people of the city of Toronto. And in October of 2022, you will know that there is a C in my name. And you will know that that C stands for Christ, Lord, all righteous King, eternal. Because the Spirit in me gives me the love to keep equal values and neutral. Because we know that's the only way we will bring peace to humanity. And the disgusting, despicable, sad excuse for journalists in the Toronto media, their only goal is not to bring truth to the people, just like they're doing with their COVID nonsense that are leaving so many people to die from non-COVID issues. And they ignore all the issues that people are dying from because John Tory is a two-trick pony. Condos and COVID. And those are the only issues that John Tory will address because John Tory is not fit to be mayor. And I don't need to expose John Tory. John Tory has already exposed himself. John Tory, on January 5th, January 4th, John Tory at a press conference, the day after an extreme weather alert was called, and any fit mayor would have said, an extreme weather alert was called today. We know that we brought the police in and we spent $2 million to shove all these people out of their tents and beat them up. So we know they'll have nowhere to go. We are going to put together different services and we're going to open up more services. So we combat homeless death in the city of Toronto. But no, John Tory didn't do that. John Tory started trying to put you in fear and started talking about COVID and you possibly getting sick. But hold it, John Tory. People may get sick from COVID, but people die from homelessness. And it's irresponsible for you, and it's incompetent for you as a mayor, the day after an extreme weather alert, to be focused on people possibly getting sick when we know that people are going to die on the streets if you did not address their needs for affordable housing so we can combat homeless death. John Tory, whether you believe or not, whether the media want me in or not, we know you are the former head of Rogers Communications. So we know that the media and media personalities are selfish, greedy individuals who will sacrifice the truth and they will ignore to give the people the truth. Because you take a look at all of them. Peter Truman, you take a look at Pamela Wallen, Patrick Duffy, all these different, Marcy Ian, all these different media personalities. They ignore to be truthful to the people. So eventually they can get their way into government by silencing the truth. And the truth is, a life is too precious to leave to die on the streets. The truth is, this winter time, we will save lives because the 66th mayor of Toronto, Kevin Clarke, on January 1st, 2022, in an election year, says, I will be carrying on as if currently the 66th mayor of Toronto is in charge. And we will combat homelessness, homeless death, drug addiction, alcoholism. We will combat hunger. We will create better services and protect our seniors. We will give opportunities to our youth. We will stop the abuse in our law enforcement services. And we will. There is no doubt about it. Even if the Toronto media attempt to fix the 6 or whatever amount of elections they're fixed against me, we will. We will. I want you all to say it right now, and I want you to say it out loud. We will. We will use our free will given by God Almighty. We will say it. We will say it. We will make Toronto good again. We will make Toronto a city of fun, not a city of guns. Say it with me. We will make Toronto a city of hope, not a city of dope, because John Tory is called mayor. So people have to do dope because they can't cope, or they have to drink a lot of alcohol till they stumble and fall. You tell John phony, baloney, media made manipulation. Tory, goodbye. Because if you cannot solve a simple issue of homelessness that only involves getting 4 walls for someone to lay their head, how the hell do we expect you to solve something as complicated as COVID, gun violence, senior services, and youth employment strategy program? No way in heaven or in hell. Because John Tory, you are not fit to be mayor. You know why, John? Not because of your extreme failure. It's because you know you cannot beat this man democratically. You know the only way you can beat this former homeless man is if you have the media blackball Kevin Clarke. But people of Toronto, rejoice. Prosperity is near, because you will no longer have to live in John Tory's created fear, because a real mayor is here. To God be the glory. Peace and love.